everyone, my name is Manahil and welcome back to episode 3 of our book review series, and this is part 2 of our Khaled Hosseini series. So today we're going to be talking about a book that I personally never thought that I would enjoy. We are going to be talking about 1,000 Splendid Suns by Khaled Hosseini. Okay, this book is a lot of things. It's again a very, very heavy read, like other Khaled Hosseini books. However, this I do feel like takes the cake because we talked about The Kite Runner and it was also quite heavy, and we will move on to talk about his other book, And the Mountains Echoed, which is also quite heavy, but this one is definitely outweighing the two of them with the amount of talk that happens just in general of problematic things within the book. So we're gonna start with our protagonists. Our protagonists are Maryam and Layla. The first thing that I really noticed, I feel like a lot of people will also notice when you begin to read the book, is the contrast between the two characters. So Maryam obviously had a very disturbing childhood when, just very unstable parenthood, absent fathers, absent mother. She was, an illegitimate child to a very wealthy father, and so she was never really considered as a human being, but as something to be brushed off to the side and just another responsibility. Layla, however, had a relatively better childhood. She had a loving family. She had loving siblings, parents. She was mostly happy in her childhood. There were some ups and downs, as we will see. However, in relation to Maryam, she did have a relatively better childhood. So what I really want to talk about and what really hit me was how, despite how these both very different young women, both of these women have a very large age gap. They're not of similar age. Maryam is a lot older than Layla, which we will come to see becomes a little bit problematic further moving forward with the book. The fact that despite both of their age gap, their different brought ups, the way life treated them their entire lives, both of them ended up in the same place as we see in what we call, I guess, life. And it was very interesting to see because it really showed the effects of war and how, I guess, how war affects people. It's difficult to talk about because obviously it's such a heavy topic, but war, the way it took these very different people and put them in a position where one would not imagine them to be in, within the war or without the war. And so Hosseini wrote that so well. The way he wrote how war changes people, how it changes their beliefs, their systems, their way of life. That was really interesting to see, and that really hit me hard. Because the way it was spoken about and the way it was talked about and the way it was portrayed was honestly slightly heartbreaking. So another example of this that I really want to talk about is we see obviously Layla has gone to school. We're talking about pre-war in Afghanistan. She went to school, and I distinctly remember this one contrasting scene that happened in the book and was obviously intentionally written. But one of her school teachers, Layla's school teachers, she was very vocal about and she was very against the idea of hijabs and anything that required women to do something that men did not. Obviously a very opinionated approach, which we see quite later on in the book when Layla is a lot older. She sees that same teacher in a head-to-toe burqa. And again, it just shows how war changes people, how it changes your beliefs and the way your outlook on life, and that really hit hard. I know that it's this element and this usage of this technique of contrasting is quite overused in, I guess, the world of writing, but the way it was used here, it was really impactful. Just the way Hosseini writes the essence of war is absolutely amazing. It's uncomparable. So, wrapping this up, this book is a lot of things. It's really difficult to put really the entire plot and the entire meaning of this book into a 5-minute review, because there's just so much that goes on, so much that I'm not hinting at that you won't realize, which will honestly really hurt you a little bit. Again, linking back to that heavy topic bit that I talked about before, it still is such a wonderful book. It shows the effect of wartime, how despite all of this, a mother's love knows no bounds. You will find this out also a lot later in the book. Remember me when you get to that part, definitely. And it's just so well written. It's so descriptive. It has so much imagery in it, and it's an experience to read. Honestly, it changes the way you look at life, especially for people who have not experienced war times. I myself am a very privileged person, and so to experience that just within a book itself, it only scratched the surface. And so that, I feel, is the most appalling factor of this entire thing. So I would definitely recommend you to read it if you can swallow a book like this. It really is so good. Yep, that's it from me for today. I will see you guys next time for episode 4 of our book review series, and that's going to be the last part of our Khaled Hosseini series. So stick around till then. Be sure to subscribe to Synergy's YouTube channel, and I will see you guys soon. Goodbye.